Hey there YouTube, Evanova95 here for my first ever video, and since I'm really into movies, I thought I'd do a movie review because this is something I've always wanted to do for a while, and I finally got the courage to do it and the hard way to do it, so let's see how this goes. I saw Dredd today, which, for those of you who don't know, is a superhero movie, kind of, about, well, Judge Dredd. And basically what it is Judge Dredd is a comic book hero from, let me check for a second. One second. 1977, so not the oldest superhero, but far from anything super new. And basically what he is, well, before I get into the movie, I'd like to talk about Dredd as a character first, so to establish what the ground is, because I'm really into comic books, obviously. Oh, sorry about that. Framing's a little off, obviously. Obviously with the hat, you know. Anyway, basically what he is he lives in this sort of post-apocalyptic future, and basically what he is he's kind of like a super cop in a way. Basically what happened in the future is humanity has crumbled apart and is now residing inside this big dome of a city which is patrolled by these cops called judges. And the reason they're called judges is because, excuse me, they are basically the jury, judge, and the executioner all in one. They go to you, judge you, and if you're guilty, you're dead. That's it. No court, no lawyers, nothing. That's just what they are. And Judge Dredd is basically, you know, the main judge of the series, obviously. And so basically, he's not a super huge, well-known superhero, partly because he's not Marvel, not DC, not Dark Horse. He originated actually as a British comic strip character from the 70s and didn't make it over to America until a little while later. And he wasn't super popular. He was by no means, like, you know, hated upon, because, you know, but he never really quite rose to the ranks of Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Captain America, Iron Man, all those guys. So he's probably not even at, he's kind of like Spawn almost, but Spawn's probably more well known than Judge Dredd, Judge Dredd himself actually has never appeared in any form of media aside from, well, there have been two exceptions. There's been this movie and a movie that Sylvester Stallone starred in, him being Judge Dredd, a while back. But aside from that, he's not that well known. So basically, back into the movie itself is a lot different than the original Judge Dredd, pardon me, with Stallone, because it has, basically, you shouldn't compare it to the original because it's completely different plot, different characters, well, not entirely different characters, but mostly. The setting's even a little different, and it's just, so you really shouldn't compare it to the original. It's pointless. But anyway, Judge Dredd himself is played by Carl Urban, who you guys you guys may remember as Bones from the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. Oh, Christ. And he was also in Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I don't remember who he was. Let me check for a second. I believe he was... Pause for unprofessionalism. Should have looked this up beforehand. Yes, he was. Yeah, he was in Two Towers. And where is it? Where was he? Ah, he was Eomer? E-O-M-E-R. Eomer. That guy. I can't pronounce his name. I'll try and put a picture of him up or something. But basically he was that guy. And he plays Judge Dredd. And basically what goes on is Judge Dredd gets this rookie female judge with him who is a mutant. and she looks human. The only difference is that she has psychic abilities, which is why she's a judge, because she'd be perfect for interrogating and stuff like that. And what happens is, and the rookie is played by Olivia Thirdly. I am sorry, I'm not very good with names. But basically, yeah, that's who she is. And what they do is, what's going on in his city is there's this drug called slow-mo that's being distributed by a massive gang called Mama Gang. I'm not kidding, that's really what it's called, and it's led by Leanne Heidi, well, who plays Mama. But I don't know. Basically, what the thing is they have this drug that once taken slows your brain functions down to 1%, which basically everything is super slow, which personally I don't quite understand, because how does seeing everything slower give you a high effect? But then again, I've never been high, so I guess I can't really say. Anyway, they go there and they attempt to bust it, but what happens is she locks down the entire building and basically says, okay, I'm going to kill you. Everybody who works for me, whoever can kill these judges, that's when I'll unlock the building and you could go. So it's this crazy, crazy battle with Dredd and, what was her name again? Anderson. What they do basically is just try to survive. And something I must say, the movie is incredibly brutal. And when I mean incredibly, like, blood everywhere, tons of shooting, a lot of dismemberment. It's really intense, which is something definitely different from the original, because the original really didn't have that much gore if you've seen it, but really intense, and, you know, it's just really gory, really violent. If you're a fan of gore, you will love this movie. If you're a fan of explosions, you will love this movie. The story is pretty simple. You know, cops go in building, bust bad guy gets busted. It's really not that hard to figure out. And what's interesting is they didn't change Judge Dredd's look up too much. They made him look more modern, more armored, definitely a lot darker. He has an awesome voice, by the way. I think it's awesome. Really cool. And basically, I'm not going to tell you what the ending is or anything, but it's pretty cool. And Anderson herself is established as having sympathy for the people, the citizens in the building who are under the oppression of the gang. And the reason that is because that's where she wasn't raised in that building, but in that area, so it really makes for a good contrast, because Dredd is so integrated into the law and sees through her, you know, what it really is like down there. But he's still a badass. I mean, the guy's nuts, but he's still really cool. Lots of really good action. Like I said, don't compare it to the original, because there's no point, which is why I'm really not doing much of that. Dredd looks really cool, as always. Something I liked is they kept, I don't know if it's stable with the character, but his gun is voice activated, kind of. Like, basically, he gives it a command, and it'll either turn into a grenade launcher or a smoke grenade launcher or something like that, and that's something that the original movie had. I don't know if it's for the character or not, but if that was just a nod to the original, it was still pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry if I seem rushing here, like I'm rushing here, but the video's starting to get a little long, and I don't want to have to exceed the time limit. And overall, the movie is very good. I wish I could delve into it a little longer, but I am a little constricted by time here. Like I said, not a very hard plot to follow, lots of fun, and all I gotta say is, I am a little upset that Dredd is getting a movie when there's some other more deserving heroes that I think deserve a movie, because he's such an obscure character. But overall, you know, I didn't dislike the movie at all. I'd give it 3 out of 5, and it's a good time. And yeah, so it's interesting to have. I like having a new kind of hero around aside from Marvel and DC movies, and we'll just see where it goes from here. Who knows, maybe Spawn's due for a comeback next. Alright, later. Oh, and if you have any suggestions for future reviews, please tell me. Subscribe if you like, and I'll see you later.